Welcome, I'm Joshua Barnes and you're watching NewsX World. Let's first take a look at some of our top stories. Both the US and Israel have criticised a French plan to recognise a Palestinian state at the UN General Assembly. Israel Katz calls the move a surrender to terrorism, as humanitarian agencies say Gaza is running out of specialised food to save malnourished children. Delegations from Iran and the E3 nations of Germany, France and the UK have arrived ahead of diplomatic talks on Iran's nuclear activity. The E3 leaders have threatened snapback UN sanctions amid nuclear tensions following Iran's 12-day war with Israel and US intervention. Thailand has reportedly rejected third-party mediation as tensions with Cambodia worsen following military action along the border. At least 16 civilians have died as fears intensify over the threat of all-out war. India's Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal says he is optimistic of a US trade deal ahead of the August 1st deadline. Meanwhile, South Korea's Industry Minister has met with US Commerce Secretary, reaffirming a commitment to reaching a deal by the end of the month. The Kremlin says that it is unlikely that a peace deal on the war in Ukraine will be completed in 30 days. Meanwhile, Ukraine says a global Starlink outage has hit its military communications as peace efforts continue to stall. The Philippine Supreme Court has blocked an impeachment trial against Sara Duterte. The vice president was accused of misusing public funds and threatening to kill President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. by the lower house of the Philippine Parliament. US media reports suggest that Fed Chair Jerome Powell is privately adamant on serving out his full term, despite a continued dispute with Donald Trump. The US president made jibes at Powell in person and has previously publicly spoken about wanting to fire the Fed chair. And Saudi Arabia has signed off on a $6.4 billion deal with Syria to rebuild infrastructure, telecoms and the economy following the ousting of Bashar al-Assad. International efforts have intensified as Syria tries to recover after more than a decade of civil war.